once Shay comes back, we'll get rolling here. So I definitely promise that I'm only gonna change my character idea like one more time before this is all over.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. I'm not telling you to what or when, but
Okay. I mean, I'll need, information on them.
yep. That's all. That's all. Don't worry. I mean, worry about it a little bit.
I'm not worried.
Good. Good. Don't be worried. There's definitely nothing to be afraid of. Just I run the saloon that the high noon is connected to. Or that is. It's mine. Frost thinks he's in charge when he's not.
He just supplies all the guns.
He just supplies all the guns and the hooch. Because now, whether he knows it or not, he's also supplying us alcohol.
I think that makes you his employee.
Uh-huh. Make him my employee. I own it.
I don't know, kind of sounds like you're just a bartender.
No, if I own the bar and he serves the hooch, that makes him the bartender.
You said he was supplying the hooch.
Well then, that doesn't mean I work for him at all. It just means he's a supplier.
For his bar.
No, you don't supply your own bar. You have other people supply your bar.
Not when you're outlaws.
Listen, I'm an outlaw somewhere else, not where we currently are.
Because that stopped bounty hunters before.
Who cares about bounty hunters? We have guns.
I mean, probably the one guy that doesn't know how to fight at all.
He does. Well, no, he does have a bounty. That's what Shay is for.
What am I for?
To kill people that are going to kill Mitch.
You mean Francis Mary Calhoun?
Yep. AKA Mitch.
I'm surprised I got that off the top of my head.
You didn't even look, did you? Well done.
Yes, we have like Evan Blackwater, Francis Mary Calhoun, Edward McCormack.
Okay.
And I think those are all the characters that have names.
I have names.
Edward Cullen. Do you want to see what I got
McCormack.
from Spirit
Yes.
Halloween?
What you got?
I do.
Oh wait, no, I think it's from Walmart actually.
Womp womp.
They're drink bags.
I've
The
seen
drink
those
side of them.
before. Those are always cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are for Halloween themed parties. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be for your Finn cosplay.
I don't know.
Filled
I
with
just
cherry
spilled them
juice.
all over the place.
Yeah, he just fills it with cherry Dr. Pepper. It's fine.
Basically. Except
Well-
I can't drink dark sodas with my freaking teeth in.
Well, that's what the straw is for.
Oof. Is that why they're discolored?
Dang.
No, I haven't done it yet because it said not to.
Because I said not to. Gosh, man.
I should get some of those
Some of what?
drink bags.
Drink bags.
Yeah.
Drink bags.
Any hoodle. Hey, let's get started because it is time to begin.
No.
Yes.
Maybe.
So last time, you all had actually gotten shit done, which was really impressive. It's amazing what work can be done when you put your minds to it. Daniel was still out, tying up some loose ends. You all had decided that you were going to go and deal with the problem at the airport after You went and had a conversation with the Valkyries. Talk with the Valkyries went very well. Josie, having your back, made negotiating with them very easy, and you had struck a deal to make sure that they would stay out of the way while you finished your task, and that they would be able to hit other targets for the Anarch movement. You also promised to supply them with the location of the Ministry so that they could deal a more decisive blow.
The Chantry.
The Chantry, thank you. The Ministry is you.
I'm the Ministry.
Yeah.
Strike down the Ministry.
You have found the Ministry.
Yeah.
You know what? If you do this, I'll let you kill me.
Yeah. If you do it, you can kill me. No. Clearly, you just wanted to be the head person by getting rid of Schlanga. But no, the Chantry, getting rid of the Chantry, for when your plans start to move forward again. From there, Josie had some interesting hiccups while trying to feed. Aldrich had gone into the hangar to discover that what the Tremere were smuggling were... you guys basically reached the educated guess that these were dried out thin bloods. Completely drained of their blood, and whether they were alive or in torpor, nobody bothered to check, but they were dried up corpses, more or less, being transported to the Chantry for whatever plan is in works with the Camerilla. You guys have kept this knowledge to yourself and returned to your new temporary haven, rested it out the day, woke up, and we pretty much finished with Josie waking up to an alarming text message. Make standing up her would-be date twice. She found out that her apartment neighbor, Carmen, had ended up going
Apartment neighbor mate.
Totally platonic apartment neighbor mate who watches Cake Boss. Cake Boss is foreplay, Iron Chef. Iron Chef is a serious commitment. You haven't reached Iron Chef levels yet.
What else has he suggested that we watch?
Yeah, and you didn't take the hint. Missed opportunity.
Okay.
What's top level? What is the top level cooking show?
It would be
Master Chef.
Kids Bake Off.
I
Chop
see
Jr.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, Chop Jr. But
Your state is like diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Oof. Yeah, if you can take them at their worst.
Wait.
Diners, dive-ins, and drives. You can take them at their best.
But then marriage is like, so like you start off with diners, dive-ins, and drives, the like horrible version, but then you end with like Guys Grocery Games.
Guys Grocery
as like
Games
a nod to the
is
past.
Guys Grocery Games is pretty top tier though.
Yes.
I do enjoy grocery games.
Enjoy that we're having a serious discussion about
This is serious. This is Josie's touchstones we are covering.
You know this is true. I'm sorry.
But you awoke to a message from Carmen. It clearly wasn't written by Carmen, because in the attachment was a picture of Carmen bound to a chair in a concrete room with the only message saying, "Come to Illusion." And that's where we're going to pick up. The camera is going to pan out from Josie's phone to where the coterie is gathered. I remember you all having been in mid-discussion while Josie was checking her phone, and this revelation is what interrupted things. So we focus in on Josie. How are you reacting to seeing your touchstone is being held captive in an obvious Camerilla establishment?
I don't want to be that person, but I think she would just start leaving.
I think we're in a moving car.
No, you guys were...
Oh, I thought we were
Were you?
downstairs still.
I thought you were in the...
I thought we ended with we were heading back, and like we dealt with wrapping a few things up.
No. She found this message after waking up
Hmm.
because she basically skipped out on the night before you all got back from the airport and went to bed. But I should have rouse checks from you all because I got to knock down Josie's already well-fed nature. No hunger for Sybil? Oh, the suspense. No hunger for... Ah, there it is! So, Josie wakes up hangry.
Yeah, I think she would start to leave, but like would not be quiet about it. Like pushing things out of the way and like it was like every minor inconvenience just becomes a huge thing. So like if she walks and like accidentally runs into someone's shoe, she would like kick it really hard out of the way and then like slam the door open and slam it closed, that kind of thing.
Small child is sent into orbit for having the audacity to be playing in Josie's walking vicinity.
Basically, if there was a small child, she would be like, "Move!"
Your aura's twisting. What are you doing?
Leaving
Where?
a club.
And not only is your aura twisting, Josie, but the beast is raging. Inside of the cage, it is not happy. The fact that somebody has put Carmen in danger has it ready to kill everything between you and her.
Do you need help?
Speak up.
Do you need help?
Yes, you should take a minute to calm yourself. Tell us what happened.
Well, I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna leave now because this is sort of like a timed thing. But if you want to follow, you can. That's okay. I don't care
I'll
as
only
long as you keep
follow
up.
if you need help.
I mean, I really don't know what I'm getting into. Met this girl. Now she has my other girl. And, like... she'd, like, just toss her phone over. Maybe a little too hard. But toss it.
I pick it up. And I pretend to look at it. Oh.
Give it to Aldrich.
I give it to Aldrich.
At Lusion.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go.
I'm walking out.
What is on it?
Josie's
Clearly
not
someone
responding.
dear to
She's
Josie's
disgusting.
been kidnapped.
It's not very nice.
Possibly by your sire.
That's
I would
definitely not
glare
very
at
nice.
Sybil.
Remember the
It
one who
feels
made you
like
go
you're
run out
glaring
onto
at
the...
me.
Remember the one who made you go run out onto the ice and eat shit face first into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was the one.
So Sybil, are you coming or staying? Needs to be decided quickly.
I should come. I think.
Ark, we're getting a lot of rattling from your mic.
Sorry, let me try to... Hello?
Hello.
Try again. One more. Alright.
Sorry. What? I literally slapped the bug and it just went flying again. Like, it was a hard slap, too.
It's like, good try, nerd. Ark, we can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm messing with the... Yeah, I'm messing with the sensitivity.
That's fine. Yeah, it was just whenever you were talking, there would be rattling that followed. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what a good sensitivity range is. We should be good now.
Yeah, sounds much better. Okay. So, everybody has decided to go. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Do I get a gun?
Yes.
I do?
No.
Oh.
No. You can't see.
Exactly.
Makes her the perfect shot.
No.
I would be just like. I would be just like Eli.
From the
Daniel, get the car ready.
Daniel just kind of blinks and is like, yeah, okay. And Daniel goes and gets the car ready. It doesn't take long. They don't have to park the van. Go ahead.
Real fast, I have a feeling that me and Carmen shared our locations, because that's a thing you do in college.
Yeah.
Where does it say the phone is?
At
Literally, I have all my location shared with like all my friends at school.
It's not gonna get you stalked at all in the future, but hey, you know what? It's fine.
I don't have mine shared with her.
Oh.
She
Bet
just
you
shared
know
hers
of.
with me.
Bet you know of. Okay. Actually, why don't you make me a technology roll? Wits plus technology. Because let's see if these people were not smart enough to turn it off.
Oh. All of my dice are in hunger.
No, really? All of them?
I thought you ate.
Let me see.
Yeah, you
I
did
did,
eat.
but it was at 1.
Let
and
me
then
see.
I just ate.
I want to do it. Okay.
Hey, it's 2 successes.
It is 2 successes. It does look like they had turned the location tracker off. But you probably know that if they told you to go to Illusion and they put this up, they probably aren't keeping her there. Or I guess a better thing to say is, if she's there, they're not keeping her within immediate reach. Whether that means they're keeping her somewhere off-site and they're just trying to get you there to negotiate have some kind of dialogue, or they're keeping her somewhere there out of reach, you can't be sure.
Josie would send back, where is she?
A moment passes and there'll be a beep and it just says safe.
And I assume we're doing this as we're getting into the car and going.
Yes. You guys are driving.
Yes.
Yeah. The only reply you get, Josie, is safe.
Then I would send back a Y.
After a moment, it says, come and find out.
This number is no longer connected.
It's probably a bad idea, but you know, Josie's mad. She starts rolling down the window to toss her phone out.
Are you gonna check your phone?
Yeah, but like make sure it breaks. Like if we're moving, she like throws it really just hard at the ground.
Absolutely. Make me a strength brawl.
Okay.
I mean, if this is like an iPhone, that thing's just shattering on impact.
Yeah.
I know, but I want to see how badly. No. Anything that's no contest doesn't need a roll. And yes, Daniel is driving. You're going more than 20 miles an hour, and you're a strong
And I
gangrel.
still did it.
Okay. Yeah,
It
huge.
turns to dust.
Any next gen phone really. I imagine Josie doesn't have an OtterBox because you haven't specified. Fashionable
I
people
don't.
don't have OtterBoxes, so anytime you drop that
OtterBox
phone,
is a working man phone case.
yeah. Anytime that phone is dropped, it is just powder. So you chuck it, and so the just momentum of the moving vehicle and the fact that it lands in the street, it shatters on impact, and then a car behind you runs it over, not out of any instinctiveness to damage the phone, but just because where it bounced, it was unavoidable for it to be run over again. And you're pretty confident that the SIM card is effectively destroyed now.
Hey, that person threw a phone. Let's run over it.
Yeah, that's always my thought, is to hit the thing that gets thrown at my vehicle.
Yeah, and then she just is sitting there, just arms crossed and like glaring.
Do you have something?
Feel better
over?
now?
No. What'd you say, Sybil?
Do you have something of hers?
No.
Okay.
The only place I would have something would be at the apartment, but that is it on the way? No, we're not stopping. Never mind. We're just going straight there. I really don't give a shit.
Should I try to use my power when we get there?
Sure, if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah, then she just sits there for the rest of the car ride.
I don't think there's much more conversation.
All right. With no more conversation, it is a long and awkward drive. Probably 30 minutes or so to get to the other side of Vancouver, along the rack where you know Lujan is built. Josie and Sybil had actually seen Lujan in passing the night they had gone roaming through various clubs and having opted to go to a more teen-friendly one. You hadn't gone inside of the club. Aldrich is keenly familiar with the establishment, having gone before, and struck a deal.
Can hear you guys. I'll be right back, though.
Yep. Which means Daniel doesn't have any trouble finding a place to park not far. And he lets you all out, and then circles the block and finds somewhere else a little more secure to park the vehicle. He reminds you, Aldrich, that he'll be idling, waiting for a call if you need a pickup. He won't be far, but he also won't be immediately within reach if you need him.
Yes, just keep the engine running.
Hey, Aldrich,
Yes.
are you armed?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Why, yes, I have 2 arms.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Game. Yeah.
That is an important question. What is everybody carrying with them?
Aldrich has a hidden holdout knife.
Okay.
They won't let me have weapons.
Josie has
They
her
won't let
hand.
They won't let Sybil have any weapons, and
I mean,
Josie is
well,
always-
I'm not procuring you any weapons. That doesn't mean you don't have any.
That's fair. Could I
I didn't
have?
strip search you the second I met you.
Could I have grabbed? Could I have grabbed? Wait, where were we? We were in a hotel.
Nope.
No, we were in a house hiding out. Could I have snuck a knife, like a kitchen knife or something?
Aldrich, did you buy cutlery?
I think I probably would have done my best to make it look like an average kitchen,
Very
like an
well.
average house.
You definitely
Like,
grabbed
maybe a little
kitchen
sparse because it's a newly moved in. But yeah, I think there would be some knives.
knife. You have a kitchen knife.
I grab a poker.
the fireplace poker?
No, just something from the kitchen that is sharp and pokeable.
All right. We've gone from having a knife
It
to
is-
something pokeable, so she now has a spoon.
Hey, I've done a lot of damage with spoons.
I believe it.
Fuck! Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I just opened this thinking it was a twist off, but it's a fucking cork.
Oh no.
Get a cork.
Oh, could I have grabbed like a bottle opener with the little corkscrew thingy?
Absolutely.
I'll be right back.
That's what I have.
Why?
I can hear you guys, like
Why
I always
not?
say.
Oh, well. Sybil's armed. Okay.
But I mean, if
Is
Aldrich
she?
would supply one, I'd probably have a gun.
Aldrich said he's not supplying anyone with anything.
I mean,
Then never
you're the one
mind.
with the criminal contact.
Oh wait, then yeah. I would probably have a gun from them, but I prefer to use my hands, but the gun is just like a long distance type thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We also didn't really get checked at the border, so
They really don't check you at the Canadian border. No, they probably do. That's a lie. I imagine they do.
If you're coming from America, probably.
Yeah. Anyways,
Which where else would you come from?
so you guys have set out on foot. You're about a block away from Lucian when you start making your way up this club strip. There are people moving about in the winter evening. They're bundled
Okay.
up, but there are more than a few people who are dressed with the intent of going to party and have fun tonight. And you see that there is a line. It's long and wraps around one corner. It looks like there are people who have been waiting for quite some time. But people like Aldrich don't wait in lines, do they?
no.
I
Not
don't know how to do this.
Don't ask me. I've
So
never
you-
done it.
So you line it up, you twist it into the cork, and then you use the two little arms to help you pull it out.
But do you start off with like the arms up?
Mm-hmm. Right?
But then
You
how
start
do
with
you
the
twist
arms
it
up,
in?
right? Jay?
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
squeeze the.
Yeah.
Arms up, and you just kind of screw it in.
Elbows out.
Yeah, the arms go up when you screw
Together?
it in.
Okay,
There you
that's
go.
good.
And then once it's all
My
the way
thing
in,
is
you just pull them down.
Yep, and then you'll pull them down and it'll...
And then you
Just-
rip
just-
half the cork out.
Yeah, I was like, just note there will be a pop, so be careful.
I'll do it on the floor.
Just don't stain the carpet.
That was a little pop.
I
I
just
said-
said there will be a pop. I didn't say it was going to be a big one.
It said,
Now she's going to drink straight from the bottle. Classic.
no, I was gonna try and put it in here, but the only way you can put it in is through this little top thing, so I don't know if I want to do that.
Oof, that is...
I tried that
Well, I probably will
later,
end up-
like over a sink.
Yeah, I would do that somewhere where you can clean up easy.
So how do you take this
Get a
off?
funnel.
It's stuck.
Twist.
Yeah, you twist it off.
You just unscrew it the other way.
This is our wine tasting hour of Vancouver by night. I
know,
mean, Northern Lights.
We should do a cooking show. And just
I
have
can
wine.
actually tell you how you serve wine.
Oh, I got
I know
it.
there's different ways to do it for like different colors of wine.
Let's do
This
it after
is
the stream.
pink
though.
Moscato.
Yeah.
Pink Moscato.
Moscato.
Moscato. Alright, so
So you're supposed to offer the cork to the first person that you're gonna serve, and then they smell
let's
it.
do it after the stream.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, so with all that done, you guys make your way up to the front of the line. There's a bouncer waiting, holding a clipboard. Aldrich, you notice that this is the same one that had let you through the last time. He's sitting there, he's dressed, he's got like a leather coat, glasses, a little earpiece, and he's holding a tablet, and he's just checking people in. And he kind of looks up, raises an eyebrow at you as the three of you approach.
I have a hood up, so I just look like a small person. Or a shorter person.
I'm just going to flick on awe briefly.
In everybody's eyes.
I'm sure you
focus
remember
on
me
you.
from last time. We are expected tonight.
Right.
You don't want to keep us waiting.
Yeah, I remember you. You came in with the other handsome fella. Remind me of your name, though, sir.
Aldrich. Aldrich Lee.
And he stops and he kind of scrolls down and he kind of frowns. And he says, "Oh, this is embarrassing, Mr. Lee. You're not on the list, but I'm more than willing to make an exception to have such a A-list client like yourself to come in."
Well, thank you. Alright, let's go. And I'll start to go through with the two of them.
And he doesn't stop.
Going as well.
He doesn't stop. And there were protests from people in the lines, but most of them just are
I flashed them a wink.
Yeah, and most of them are just like, "Mr. Lee, let us in with you."
Yeah.
And
Mr. Lee!
when you all enter into Illusion, you see that it is very much the typical dance club. There is space set aside for a dance floor. There are paneled lighting where it's strobing in different colors. There are fixtures, flashing lights, and all around you inside this club are regular people dressed in their nightly get-ups, and then there are an obscenely large amount of individuals head to toe in fur. They have large wolf heads, furry wolf paws, long bushy wolf tails, fuzzy wolf feet, and not much else. They're stark naked. These people dressed in the full furry outfits are dancing around, gyrating their hips, grinding up against traumatized patrons of the club. But it would seem that the furries have entered Illusion, and they've come in the form of
And then
wolves.
Sybil rolls a rouse check.
Yeah, I'm gonna use Blush of Life. I don't want to be caught as.
Oh, same.
Yep. Does
Fuck.
Aldrich blush?
I'm just a normal person.
No.
No, he's like...
Not
he's
right
like,
now.
I don't even want to deal with this. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and redeem that werewolf invasion.
I'm going to
Do
start
that.
going towards the... where I went to go meet with Mirabelle before.
And as you start moving, Josie, your phone rings again.
I threw my phone.
Oh, right. That's right. Oh, gosh, I can't give you any information because you got rid of your phone.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I have my burner phone.
No, they wouldn't have that.
I
No, I
That's why I
can't.
said this is probably going to be a bad idea, but that's what Josie would do in the moment because she didn't get an answer that she wanted, and then she was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, no, I can't send you any more information.
Ominous text.
Yeah, Aldrich, you start leading everybody towards the stairwell where you know Mirabelle's office is located.
I might be able to do something.
Okay.
So I'm as we're moving. First, I want to do Since the Unseen to see if I can locate any hidden entities other than human.
So, like, we go over this every single session. Sense the Unseen is always on.
I know it's always on. I'm trying to see if there's anything hidden. I am actively searching for anything trying to hide.
Okay. Four with the bestial.
Bestial.
Yep, so this is going to be fun. Okay, so you sense a lot. Not only do you sense that there are so many auras, but each and every one of the naked, furred individuals is giving off an aura you do not recognize. Your beast is scared. It is telling you to run.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Her beast is scared. It is telling
Before
her
that.
to run. Oh, she's picking up. Each and every one of the furries has an unnatural aura.
I think I
Why
just
do you look like that?
All right.
Only Sybil knows this.
We should run.
I'm gonna keep heading.
Aldrich, you are heading
Well, I don't
towards
think Josie's gonna be leaving.
Aldrich, you wanted to head towards the stairs?
Yes.
Okay. Do you stop at all when Sybil says, under the music, the very loud EDM dance music, that you all should run? Josie seems set on her course of finding her friend.
I don't think Josie is planning on running.
We're surrounded.
She's already ahead.
Head where?
Yeah, she doesn't know where she's going.
Do you know where you're going?
Where is
No,
Josie?
she's just walking
Where is Josie
around.
heading? She's just wandering?
Yeah.
So, Aldrich, you turn and look, and Josie has already waded into the dance floor.
Trying to find some like back room.
Yep. She's
God.
gone searching, but in her own blood craze, she has tried to wade from one side of the dance floor to the other, and it's slow moving because the people are basically shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, elbow to elbow, dancing to this music.
Since Josie ran off and I was trying, I probably would have tried to hold on to her, but I'm not going to be able to stop her, so.
Make me a strength brawl to
That's
try.
not
Strength
happening.
athletics to try and hold on to her.
That is not happening.
All right. So you've lost her in the crowd. Aldrich.
Wait,
Mm-hmm.
I have another idea.
There you go.
Instead of Sybil losing Josie just ends up accidentally dragging her off,
Oh,
leaving
no.
Aldrich alone.
Oh no.
Oh, I wasn't finished. Aldrich, you hear Sybil say we should run, and Sybil had been dragged off by a very angry Josie, and her attempts to break free are fruitless. But somewhere in the throng of the dancers, the two of them get their hands dislodged, and Sybil finds herself in the mass of unfamiliar auras, while Josie continues to wade across the dance floor to try and find some back room or entrance. Aldrich, you're left alone, and you start making your way towards the staircase where you know Mirabelle is. The bouncers, who are standing at the door.
I think that idea's out the window right now.
Mm-hmm. So you...
I gotta go find these two, because...
That's fine. Make me a wits awareness, so that I can at least try and establish this scene before people continue running off in different directions.
Absolutely fair.
Just so to add to that, I think this might change, I guess, the difficulty. Josie is like, if someone is like tries to dance on her, she like pushes them out of the way.
Yeah, that's...
I'm more looking for
Sir.
Sybil.
Yeah, but I
First-
was saying like,
I am
see.
shaking.
Well, I want to better establish this scene because it's important for you guys to know what you're doing before everybody scatters off in 3 different directions.
yeah,
And if we keep adding on top of each other what the other is doing before I can give you any details, we're not going to get anywhere. So let me just establish so that you guys know what you're in for before you start wandering off. Because every time I try and give you information, somebody wants to do something else. So, wits awareness. With 3, Aldrich, you turn and you realize that Sybil is not there anymore. She's disappeared into the crowd. You were on your way to head upstairs to find Mirabelle and talk to her. Your priority is finding Sybil. But when you glance over, you notice that the bouncers that had been keeping Sybil or Mirabelle's staircase guarded are not the same individuals. It doesn't seem like something a Malkavian would do, switch out their kind servants within such a short time span. But these individuals seem to be holding themselves a little more professionally rigid. They seem to be watching, even if you can't quite see what they're looking for, but they're on edge and alert, looking for something or someone. Their attention seems to be fixated on the dance floor, but they're not moving from their post. Now, what do you want to do now that you've been separated from the other two coterie members?
I'm going to try to find Sybil because, in Aldrich's opinion, that's a Masquerade breach waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm. How do you go about finding Sybil?
Well, she's probably one of the shorter people in the room.
Yes, but there is a lot of people here, and short people tend to get lost in a crowd of much taller people.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wade into the crowd and try my best looking through the path that Josie has left.
All right. And you do so. And Aldrich, where Josie and Sybil had an easier time moving through this crowd, wading through them largely unimpeded, you find yourself more in a mosh pit. As you're trying to wade through, there are elbows, there are steps on your nice shoes, there's the occasional knee, there's even a random fist that hits you in the back, and it's not anything serious, but each time you turn to look who might have bumped or brushed against you, you're just met with the glaring eyes of the wolfish individuals. They growl and stare, and they look at you as if they know.
All right.
Would you like to make me a wits awareness to see if you can find Sybil?
Two successes.
2 successes. You are not able to find her amongst the crowd. There's too many bodies. There's too much happening. You're getting dislodged and shoved around each time you're trying to move past somebody to see over a shoulder or what's behind the back. But eventually you find yourself pushed back out of the crowd, no closer than where you had started. Sybil, you blush of light, so you're at least moderately passing for human, and you're small. So you start moving, and you're feeling the oppressive encroachment of these auras. They smell funny. They radiate something different, and your beast is even more terrified now because you wanted to run, and instead you found yourself pushed into the middle of them. You don't know which way will lead you back out. All you can sense is that there are lots of them around you, and you're stuck in the middle of this sea of unnatural auras. She's so stunned.
Just a little bit. So there's a bunch of people around me.
Yes.
I need to be able to read this. One moment.
Then we'll come back to you.
Yes.
Josie, you're also having an easier time. With a blush of life up, you can move your way through. Your own wild nature probably makes it a little easier for you to push and pull your way through the throng of bodies. Anybody who tries to get close to you gets an elbow or a shove. But you find yourself coming out on the other side of the dance floor, there's no sight of Aldrich. And you remember holding on to Sybil, but you've lost her somewhere in the crowd. Do you go back to try and find your coterie member, or do you want to press on to try and find Carmen? Can't hear you.
I'm back. First I want to take a look back at the dance floor to see if anything catches my eye just immediately. In terms of finding Sybil. Hey, I'm actually pretty good at this.
Someone has to be.
Never mind.
I would offer if you'd like to re-roll, but you only have 1 dice. So it is your choice if you want to spend a willpower for 1.
No.
Alright.
Not right now, because I don't think it'll make much of a difference.
Then unfortunately, just like Aldrich, it's not enough to be able to see her between the sea of moving bodies.
Do I see... Okay, then I'm gonna look back and... Do I see any back rooms anywhere?
Yes. In fact, you do. You see just to the side of the bar, there's a hallway that will lead off into the back rooms, as well as the staircase that leads you up into the manager's office. The manager's office also has its own little skybox above the dance floor, where you can see that there is a woman standing at the window, and she's watching down into the dance floor, holding a stuffed fox and just kind of petting it. You recognize this woman. It was the woman who made you eat shit on the ice. Going face first across the frozen pond. It's Mirabelle, Sybil's sire.
Do I see Audrey anywhere?
Not within that view.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go back and try and find Sybil.
Alright, you will attempt to wade back into the mix.
Mm-hmm. Pushing people out of the way even more.
Alright. Make me strength athletics, please, to start wading through the crowd.
Not acrobatics. Unless I want to flip over the crowd.
Alright. Bestial success. So you start forcing your way through, trying to push and pull these people out of the way. And much like Aldrich had found, now the crowd is getting a little more riled up in their excitement. Something has stirred them, and as you start prying them from the opposite direction, the dance floor turns more into what would be considered a mosh pit. They respond to your pushes in kind. There are elbows, there are knees, there are stomps to your feet. And every so often, someone growls in your direction. And just before things start to turn violent, the lights cut out and the music stops. Then a single spotlight kicks back on. And directly where Sybil finds herself in the middle of the dance floor, the light is shining on her. And the dancers have stepped back to form a circle around her, making it obvious for Aldrich and Josie to see who they're looking for. A woman's voice comes in over the speakers. My little bird, she's come home. Sybil, I knew Aldrich would come to his senses and bring you back to me. I'm so happy to see that you're here. Everyone, please, welcome my darling back. A round of applause. and there's just a slow from the confused partygoers who are all clapping now for Sybil. And she says, "Please, Sybil, darling, join me upstairs. We have so much to discuss now that you're back."
I'm gonna go make my way over near the stairs.
I'm gonna make my way over to Sybil.
Sybil, what do you do?
I feel like behind me there's a bunch of very hungry wolves, and in front of me is my sire. And right now I'm probably gonna choose my sire over the very hungry wolves. I don't know what direction. Do I know what direction I need to go?
No, but it doesn't take long before you feel a hand on yours. A familiar touch and an aura that doesn't match the others. You get the sense that this is Josie.
We should go. There's
Go where?
there's very like when I reach out to like hold her hand, there's very much like shaking fear. Take me upstairs.
Go where? Are you going back to her?
It's better than here. Trust me.
Okay. I start bringing her up.
Alright, so you start taking her towards the stairs, and it's not long before you see that Aldrich is there waiting at the staircase. Aldrich, make me another wit's perception, please.
What's perception? You mean a notice?
No, wit's awareness is what I meant to say, but I fucked it up.
I know, I was just using you because you sometimes say the Pathfinder or 3.5 thing in D&D.
I do. Is that a critical, or is it just the...
It's just one, I only have one normal die.
Aha. Everybody's so hungry.
Yeah, that's why I've been avoiding Blushing of Life.
It would have been fine.
No, it wouldn't have
You spot-
if I failed.
You spot Josie and Sybil coming out of the crowd, but that's not what's important. When you look over back towards the staircase, you see that the two bouncers have taken notice of it as well, and one of them reaches for just a little intercom next to his earpiece and is whispering something into it, and they seem to be watching the three of you start to approach.
Alright, we're here to speak to Mirabelle.
The two look, and they shake their heads, and they say, "Sorry, not going upstairs."
Where are we going then?
Downstairs.
Sybil, do you know what's downstairs?
What kind of auras do those two have?
They don't.
Okay. I'm going to use, at that point, when I hear, do you know what's downstairs, I'm going to activate Spirit's Touch to see if I can figure that out.
What does Spirit Touch do?
Spirit Touch, I think this is the right one. Touching an object or location, I can pick up the emotional residue. I gain insight into what was done and under what circumstances.
So what are you touching?
I'm in a location, so just the ground.
You're touching the ground?
Yeah.
Location. Since you wish to residue left by those who handle it, prepare towards the location and with that. All right. The overwhelming. Oh,
Yes.
All right. The overwhelming emotion that pervades from Lujan is the sense of your sire, Mirabelle. There is a sense of wanting you back, missing her childer, and a scheme that will eventually bring you back to her. Outside of that, you're not picking anything up. It is the prevalent feeling in this club.
Okay.
Well, I suppose you can point us the way then.
I know where it is. I'll start walking that way.
And they turn.
Start following
And
Josie.
they start to follow behind you. And Josie, it's not hard to find. It's just a little ways down this hall. And there's a door that opens up to a set of concrete stairs that lead down. After you, one of them says.
So, am I able to? Because I'm trying to figure out where everything is in my theater of mind. Am I able to get a sense that these people are with or not with Mirabelle?
Would you like to make a check to figure that out?
I would.
Right.
Insight, but do I use wits or intelligence?
You'll use wits, and it's going to be at a penalty because all you're using is the tone of their voice since you can't see them. -1.
Oh,
That's fine.
alright.
You can also raise the DC by 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. It's hard to tell. Just on their voices and in a loud nightclub where there is electronic music playing, it's hard to pick anything up. And for all you know, they haven't really given you much to go off of. So it's hard to place what somebody's intentions or loyalties are by telling you you're going downstairs.
She said to go upstairs.
Yeah, she did. And you feel a hand on your back pushing you forward.
Who are you?
Everything will be clear. Downstairs. Who's
Aldrich
heading?
is going to give them a very meaningful look, and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a pack of cigarettes and just starts to light one up in front of them before heading down.
Josie.
I'm heading down.
Sybil. You've been shoved forward. Do you continue?
I don't think I have a choice.
I mean, there's a choice,
There is a choice. There's always a choice.
just not a good one.
And so, they let you go down first. Then the two men follow. The sound of their footsteps click loudly for Sybil as you all make your way down these steps. In the basement, you see that it's another concrete room, much like the one Josie had seen. There's a drain in the center of it with a dark substance that seems to have formed around the drainage ring, indicating possibly dried blood or something else that had leaked out here at some point or another. There's no chair, though. There's no Carmen. What you do see are the stands on 3 corners of this room, excluding the stair where you have come down, stands for floodlights. And there's an individual standing on the opposite wall of where you had reached the stairs and would turn to face into the room. But you do see Audrey. She's standing there, dressed in a nice suit, looks very professional, very G-man. And she smiles and she says, "Ah, here they are. I was wondering how long you were going to stand me up, Josie."
She?
Sorry?
Where is she?
She's opposite of you in this room. This room is probably 15 by 15. It's a fairly large storage room, but she's a good distance away, standing on the opposite wall. But you've got her on one side, and then these two fellows behind you.
I just glare at her.
I'm sure you have questions, but I'll go ahead and start by saying, if you try anything stupid, you'll never see Carmen again. She'll stay in that little concrete block, and she'll probably dehydrate before she starves to death, because the only people who know where she is me and these two. And they kind of hold up their hand and wave, and then they gesture that they're holding sidearms in their coat pockets. And she says, "But I called you here because I really needed your attention. It's so rude that you stood me up twice. I figured coming to your bar directly would have been enough to get your attention, but kidnapping, we don't do kidnapping anymore. It's so 1960s. So, I'm curious why you all have decided to come to this city. Don't be shy. The clock is ticking. It won't be long before she realizes that we're working under her nose.
See. Well, why any vampire, any kindred?
Was there more to that? You cut out after why any kindred.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Nope. Yeah, we lost you. Can't.
Hello?
There you are.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright. That's annoying.
Yeah.
We got a rate of 17.
Why any kindred would come to any city, power and influence.
Wow. That's the thing. We know you're not affiliated with the kindred, and she air quotes, they're in charge. We're under our intelligence tells us that you're working for a rebellious faction. We want to know more about the dissent between your organizations. We want to be able to use that to our advantage. We're willing to talk to dissidents because we know that you're not part of the greater issue. You're still monsters, bloodsuckers, parasites, sure, but we've worked with monsters before. So, why don't we try again? What are you all doing here?
You see, even if we
But he's just
tell you something,
glaring at
we
her
have
the
no
whole time.
guarantee that we get out of here.
Of course not. But if I wanted to kill you, I could have done it at any point. I made it very clear I knew where your bar was. You guys kind of wore it on your sleeves that there was something suspicious happening there. We practically picked up on your, open declaration of being in the city when that one and the fourth that used to be with you decided to race across the city rather loudly. We've been watching you for a long time. We're just trying to find your motive now.
Well, if your motive is taking down those currently in charge of Vancouver, then it's a very similar goal.
To what end?
What was it you called us? Remind me?
Leeches. Bloodsuckers.
No, our group. The ones not in charge.
Dissidents? Rebels?
Yes, and what does any rebel do? Any rebellion? Look back in your history books.
So you're hoping to bring down the foundations. Is that correct?
More or less.
Interesting.
Any oppressed group tries to rise up at some point.
So you're oppressed now. I didn't realize predators could be oppressed. You could go anywhere and treat yourselves like kings, but you're
That's not true. Not for people like us.
you're not people. Don't mistake that. You're animals.
I'm sorry. By all definitions, you're an animal. If that's the best insult you have for us, keep working on.
I wasn't
And a predator at that.
wasn't looking to insult you, just making sure you didn't think you were still people. You're beasts. You're corpses at best. And like I said, animals at your worst. So, here's how this is going to work then. We're going to reach a deal tonight. Because I don't like getting my hands dirty to get your attention when I just wanted to have a nice chat. We're going to let your friend go. We're not going to tell you where they are, but they'll be released, and they'll end up back at their apartment, safe and sound. You have my promise on that, as long as you promise to cooperate.
I'd like to insight again.
Absolutely.
Same.
I would like
I've been
to.
glaring at her the whole time. Insight what?
Wits insight is fine.
Ah,
This is gonna be good.
Mine's not showing up for some reason.
Do you have a dice roll already open?
Nope. Do you want me to
there
just
it
try
is.
again?
Nope, there it is now.
Oh,
No, I found it.
Yep, so 3. So, Aldrich.
I'll willpower it actually.
Okay. So, 2 more.
Never mind.
I'll
I'm out.
willpower some of mine as well.
Sure.
Hey! There we go.
Yeah, 9
Oh,
out of
hey.
10. So that gets it up to 4?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes.
All right. So Aldrich and Josie, you don't get the feeling that she's lying. She seems to be playing by the books, as it were, going over like a scripted, here's how we do handoffs while trying to get people to follow our influence. But she sounds reluctantly genuine. Like, the idea of negotiating with you sickens her, but she's not being dishonest. She's trying to project from a place of authority. So, here's what we're going to do. You're going to tell us what your plan is, where you're going to be striking, timetable, what you hope to accomplish here in the city. If it's something that we can provide assistance, we'll make sure that an opportunity is available to you. The enemy of our enemy is our friend, after all. And dealing with the high-profile targets is much more important, especially if we can shake such a strongly ingrained foundation such as those in power.
So you want Chaos to pick off the remains?
We want to help you overthrow a regime. That's what we do, after all. It's been our MO for nearly 50 years.
And then what?
And then what? Well, we make sure that you institute the change you preach about. And if you step out of line, we do what we do best: kill monsters.
Well, we don't have a time quite yet. We should be getting one soon.
How soon? What are we looking at?
And right then the phone goes off. I'm joking.
Well, when you have organizations such as your Inquisition hunting, we tend to be vague with each other, at best.
That's good. I honestly thought you were going to stumble right into just divulging all of the information. Maybe you're more competent than I thought.
I've already died once. I'm not afraid to do it again. And he'll just take a drag of his cigarette, flick off the ashes.
Well, if you have nothing for us now, I suppose we'll be keeping an eye on you and stay in contact. Would you like to add anything before we conclude our meeting?
Well,
The
how would you like us to
releasing her tonight?
contact you?
I'll be in touch.
So,
wasn't
cell phone
you-
number, walkie-talkie.
Bat signal.
Oh, that's my favorite.
And she kind of smiles at Josie's question and says, unfortunately, we won't be releasing her at this time. We'll need to make sure that your compliance is maintained. We'll continue to send regular updates of her condition so that you know she's still alive.
You'll have to send it to another person.
And she just kind of laughs. Very well. Mr. Lee will be in touch.
Sure.
Don't call us. We'll call you. And when she says that, the floodlights flick on, and while they're not anything dangerous like UV lights, they're really bright. And
Aldrich does react as though he'd just been slapped.
yep, because I know that's a thing. I just remembered that that's a thing that really affects you.
Yeah,
but it's bright. It's brighter for Aldrich than the others, but it's
I
very
don't
much.
flinch.
It's brighter for Aldrich than the others, but it's enough for there to be a temporary flinch from even Josie, and when the lights click back out or your eyes adjust, the room is empty. There's an obvious back door somewhere down here that she used to get out, and the other two henchmen that were at the stairs are gone as well, leaving you standing in the basement.
It's so strange. The monsters aren't the one torturing. Unless they're the monsters.
Can Josie
You're a
punch the
fool.
wall?
Yes,
Okay.
you punch the wall.
Yeah. And then she just starts heading upstairs again. Sorry, that's it.
Sybil, you'd be a fool to assume that not everyone in this world is a monster. And I will grab her hand and start heading up.
Mhm.
Because clearly holding Josie's hand was not a good idea.
Probably would have
No.
crushed you. So you make your way back upstairs. You're in this hallway with the stairs to Mirabelle's office directly in front of you. As you reach the top of the stairs and come out of this basement, she's down at the end of the steps, looking frantically left and right in the hall, and she finally catches sight of you all, and she says, "My darling!" And she rushes, and she actually pushes Josie to the side and
I
goes
push her back.
and goes to hug Sybil, but she stumbles
Shove.
as Josie shoves her, and so the stumble has her trip over her feet, and she collides into Aldrich and Sybil, throwing her arms around both of them, and she says, "Oh, Mr. Lee, I never doubted you for a second. Well, I doubted you for several seconds. I said several nasty, uncouth things, but here you are, bringing my darling back to me. I'm so pleased with you."
I'm shaking again. But I don't say anything.
So
It was a matter of convincing. I figured your words would be more than enough that night.
yes, and I'm so happy that you've returned her to me. You're a good man, keeping your word. And she looks to Sybil and just kind of one hand on each side of her face, and she says, "Look at you, you're a mess. They haven't been taking care of you or brushing your hair. What have they been feeding you? Rats?" And she kind of turns. "What have you been feeding her? She's positively famished."
We have not been feeding her rats. I can promise that.
Well, clearly you haven't been feeding her anything good either.
I ate a paramedic.
Paramedic? You're feeding her the help?
The laughter's not in character.
No, it's not. Like
I
that
just
does,
wasn't
that does,
expecting that.
No, that doesn't happen.
Well, I tried to get her as blue blood as I can get, but sometimes that's not possible.
Clearly not. Well, thank you. You two are dismissed. Sybil and I have much to discuss before the night is up.
It's dangerous downstairs.
Whatever do you mean? Dangerous? We are downstairs. Oh, did you mean the basement? No, there's nothing dangerous down there, darling. That's where I keep my taxidermy.
It's dangerous on the dance floor.
Oh, the dance floor is always dangerous for a blind child. You won't know your left foot from your right.
There's Hun. I'm gonna like pause. Do I sense any of those same auras that I don't recognize nearby?
Yep.
He should go.
Why? There's nothing to worry about. These are fine-paying customers who upstand and understand the rules. The Garu aren't going to cause any problems here. They understand that this is my club, and to do anything within the city would bring down the wrath of the Camerilla.
Actual double take from Aldrich.
What you call them?
The Garu.
Garu.
That's the fancy word for werewolf.
It's the word they want you to call them.
Yeah. Like kindred.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just need to make a note of that.
And Josie gags a little.
So you're aware of what they are.
Of course. This is a very niche clan of Garu. They like going to conventions and posing as furies or something. I can quite catch on to what they... But they said it really lets them cut loose, and they can grind and do all sort of unmentionable things with body fluids while on the dance floor, and nobody is any wiser because of the dark lights and the strobes and the smoke, and it lets them just be animals in the city. Very small clan. There's only 20 or so of them out there. You should be fine.
Aldrich's going to take out his phone and tell Daniel to pull around to the front.
But, look to Aldrich and say, are we really gonna leave her here?
Roger!
Yeah.
Sorry, he just made an appearance.
Yeah, he did. He, yeah, he
There he is.
pulled up the frickin', yeah. He pulled the thing cover into his cage.
Cage liner.
Yeah. So. I didn't realize it until now. I thought he only had that side. I mean, this side.
Yeah, he wanted to be seen on camera, obviously.
Yeah, he was like, since we're not doing
Camera hound.
the other one, since that ended, I need to make my appearance here.
Your what?
I said, Roger said, since my other appearance ended, I need to make it here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that hat, it looks like there's a witch hat off to the side that's like blowing in the breeze.
Oh.
Off to your right.
I think there's
Yeah,
a
right
papers
there.
on the hat.
Maybe.
That one?
Yeah, but the shadow makes it look like it's just... Yeah,
Oh.
sorry.
Yeah, no, there's a paper on it.
I knew it.
Yeah.
So the
But,
question,
yeah.
the question
And,
was, are we leaving her here?
Yeah.
Yes, we did what we came to do, Joey.
I look over to Sybil.
I think I'm like. I think it's very evident I'm terrified, and I think that I seem more terrified of what's on the floor than of Mirabelle right now.
I look to Mirabelle. Say, will you let us be in contact with her?
Why would I do that?
Well, because she is still a part of this whole thing.
Oh. So, yes, about that. Sybil, darling, you are no longer to associate with Anarchs. You are fully embraced back into the loving arms of the Camerilla. Our benevolent and virtuous and beautiful prince has offered you a full pardon as long as you stay under my care.
I looked
Perfect.
at Eldrick.
Can I visit them, please?
Absolutely not. You can't be seen associating with them. We've already had enough trouble dealing with our own problems within the Camerilla. If they would suddenly start associating Anarchs with me, unthinkable. Get upstairs.
And associating yourself with
It's none of your.
them.
It's none of your
And I motion
business.
to the wall.
To the window.
Anything I might assist with?
I don't think so, but you do still have a boon. And
Of course.
I will, of course, refuse the immediate request that I know is going to be coming of being able to see her with the boon. It's off the table because the politics of it goes deeper than your desire to be friends. You're in a different faction, an enemy faction. So if I were to be associated with you through my childer, her faults would become my own. So I expressly forbid it.
Very well. Have a good night, Mirabelle, Sybil. Josie, we should get...
She's just standing there, not sure what to do. Just like,
Will you bring me
Okay.
my book?
yeah, she still has a few things with us that she considers dear to her.
Could drop them off.
Would we be allowed to bring them back?
You can drop them off at the club. There's a lost and found you can leave them at.
Of course.
Good. Now, you said you were leaving.
I think.
Yes, Josie, let's go.
I think with a Blush of Life active, Sybil is crying.
Are you sure you want to cry?
Well, I mean, I have Blush of Life active, so aren't I capable of it?
You
No,
are.
no, you still do blood tears.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you're fully capable of crying, it's just that the tears come out as blood.
oh,
That's the only liquid you have inside you, really.
Yep.
okay. Then I probably get a little bloody eyes, but I wipe it away.
Do the two of you leave?
Yeah.
Okay. You exit the club, finding Daniel waiting for you all, and he kind of looks confused as only two exit. And he's just like,
Get going.
Alright. He knows better than to question Aldrich, so he puts the car into drive and starts... Where are we heading?
Just drive for a little bit. We'll figure it out.
Copy that. Doing loops. And he starts
Away from the club.
Yeah, he gets onto the highway and just starts driving.
That could have gone better.
Mm-hmm. Josie is,
So
she wants to
we
speak.
do have a time frame now.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
We either have 3 days to get Sybil back, or she'll probably become bonded again.
What?
Mhm.
No.
And then we have probably about the same time before Carmen dies of starvation
Dehydration.
and dehydration. Is there a way we could like contact that fucking bitch and ask her if she knows a date yet? Like,
Well, here's the thing. You could have.
Do you remember her phone number?
But there was this awkward moment where somebody threw their phone.
the Ventru girl,
Oh.
Oh.
the one who's supposed to give us the date, because we need to know a date for the ritual.
Yeah, you just said bitch, and there were so many bitches in this. That
There's
it
a
was...
lot of bitches.
No,
There are a
that-
lot of bitches in this
And
game.
technically, that was in character too.
Oh.
Which bitch are you referring to?
So it's about 7 o'clock.
What's that? 7 o'clock? I'm lost.
It's about 7 o'clock. That's
Oh.
usually when we take our break.
Right, the rest of us are on East Coast, so you
Oh.
threw me off. Do you want to take your break now? Yes, it is that time.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, so yeah, 5-minute break. We'll figure out where things are going from here. So stick around, everybody, for more Vampire the Masquerade.
I like.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, we're kind of fucked.
I know. Josie's just like. That's why Josie was so like. She was like. Didn't know what to say in that moment. Just.
Yeah. Aldrich doesn't want her to be there, but if we fought on the dance floor, there would be issue.
Yeah, and that's why Josie like didn't like do anything.
If we were in the office, I probably would have let Josie go ham.
Yeah. See, Josie does have a little bit of common sense.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a tad bit. Like, she didn't go ham on fucking Audrey. She wanted to so badly.
Why didn't you?
Because Eldrick was talking to her and she had her touchstone held captive.
I mean, we could have beat them all half to death. Kept one alive.
Okay, but they
Tortured them.
wouldn't tell us information. I feel like Josie's... I mean, I don't know. Josie knows, like, obviously, what the Second Inquisition is.
Yeah.
and knows
The
like
horror story.
yeah, they would probably die before giving away information along those lines. So
I mean, you know, there's a reason Aldrich isn't gonna stay in Vancouver, actually. Many reasons.
Josie's not planning on staying.
She's planning on dying.
Basically. Well, she's actually not planning on dying. She knows that it's a possibility, and she doesn't care that it's a possibility, but she's not planning on it.
Anyways, I'm gonna step away. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. I mean, the most like selling point I could tell for Josie is the fact that she's a gangrel, and they tend to be like the independent more type of clan. That just like works for whoever. Um, that's right now the only thing I can think of. Other than
I'm back. I'm sorry, Shay. Yeah. I didn't want her to come, but I also didn't want to, like, tell you not to come. I knew it would happen. Here's the next 5.
And I just said it would take a really convincing lie for that to be believable.
That's what I'm good at.
Well, it's not you making the case, it's her.
I know, but that's what I'm good at.
I have a quesadilla.
Give me. I didn't get it. I had orange chicken for dinner.
That's also good. It has this
It was pretty good.
It has this really,
I just
really
ordered
good
food.
garlic salsa. What do you got, Kay?
I just ordered food.
What'd you order?
What'd you order? Jinx?
There's this like new place that I had never seen, and it's called like it's like an Asian fusion place. And I just said I would try it. Thinking I would try their hibachi steak.
We had Red Lobster delivered 2 nights ago. It was really good. Cheddar biscuits from there. So good. You can just order. You can just order them. You can just order the biscuits individually. It's so good. Get them in like half a dozen or a dozen, and they're like $3 or $6. It's like deal. All right. So we're back, and the camera's gonna cut. Whatever Aldrich and Josie decide to do for the rest of the day, we can touch on. But I'm going to fast forward us a day because we need to get rid of the werewolves because that bit is over. Don't go back and piss off the werewolves, please. But everybody, give me a rouse check for the next day. Aldrich, please don't go hungry.
I mean,
Aldrich, would you have gone to feed? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's handle your feed roll, and then I'll take rouse checks from everyone.
I have a herd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a roll.
Oh, well then, how many points are you slaking?
I'm gonna slake 2.
That's it?
Yeah.
Alright. Now, Rouse checks
yeah, I'll
everybody.
probably feed too.
Then give me your roll, your alley cat. Okay. Sybil, you can reduce your hunger to 1 because Mirabelle would have made sure you were fed that night.
Overly fed.
Overly fed.
The nicest PhDs you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically mental doc.
So, we start this night. The camera zooming in.
Do I bring my hunger down?
Yeah. You. How many were you feeding?
Just 2.
Okay. Well, you feed 3, so they're dead. No, I'm kidding.
And I would close up the wound, all that shebang.
Yeah, no worries. So we start with Sybil. Sybil, you've been brought to the Ivory Tower with Mirabelle. Having decided to come back under her fold, she took care of you the night before. She got you a bath, made sure your hair was brushed, and you were given a new dress. A much nicer dress, but one of Mirabelle's choosing. She told you it looked beautiful. It probably did. She gave you a perfectly taxidermied chipmunk to hold while she was carrying her owl. You take the long ride up the elevator of the hotel that serves as the Ivory Tower and the seat of power for the prince. And after a long, quiet ride to the elevator music, there's the ding of the elevator opening. You hear the pianist playing. Somebody is doing a nice, soft serenade. And as you walk through with Mirabelle holding one of your hands, you hear her announce, "My beloved prince, I am happy to announce that my childer has fallen once more under the watchful grace of your presence in the Camerilla. She's given herself wholeheartedly and completely to our cause. I would like to present to you my darling Sybil." And she pushes you forward. "Bow, darling."
I bow.
And you bow. And you hear the soft clack of stiletto heels approach you. The presence before you is massive. It seems old. It seems to give off the resonance of a toreador, mixed with something else. What you can't quite place. It's faint, but it's there as well. And then a hand reaches out and touches just under your chin to turn your gaze up to where you assume is her eyes. "You're what all the trouble was for?" Well, I can see why Mirabelle was so distraught. Why she's worked so hard to hide you from me when she was in trouble with that ne'er-do-well Cade. Mirabelle stutters for a moment. We don't have to talk about that. I was merely an accessory and not really part of..." And she says, "You were enough, and why most of your holdings were stripped of you. But this one slipped through my fingers. No matter. You don't need to be punished for your sire's mistakes. But I am to understand that you wish to come back to the Camerilla. Is that true?" The head nod is yes.
Yes.
Okay. She smiles and she says, "Good. Tell me about your friends, the Anarchs. What are they planning? They haven't caused any disruptions, rabble-rousing, that is usual to their kind. Always so full of bluster and fury, but ultimately never getting anywhere. I'm happy to see that you had a change of heart and came back to your real family.
One lost control. They killed them, but I got hurt in the process.
And we shall hurt them 1,000-fold for it. I could have told you that they are wild beasts and brutes, undisciplined. They take up the name Anarch, and that should be enough to tell you that they are not capable of any real lasting. It's merely a passing fancy. Everyone should know the embrace of the Camerilla. We are what's best for you.
Aldrich only serves himself. He does work for the Anarchs. He knows.
Aldrich Lee, yes, I remember him. He presented himself as a member of the ministry. All snakes serve themselves, but the snakes weren't welcome into the Camerilla. I remember his flowery words and empty promises. Understand, child, that working for the Anarchs makes you an Anarch. Unless you're at my knees groveling, much like you are now, you continue to be an Anarch. Such is the way of strays.
How many auras do I sense in the room?
Mirabelle, Prince, 2 more, 4.
I think like if she allows it, like my head turns briefly to the other 4 that I don't recognize.
No, there are 4 in total.
Oh, 4 in total. Including myself?
No.
Okay.
Why would you be looking at your own aura?
I don't know.
It's pretty. She likes it.
I do like it.
It wasn't the question you asked, so no.
Alright, who's here, Your Majesty?
Pay them no mind. They are here as my advisors.
There's more than just Anarchs.
Is that right? What else do you have to tell me?
I saw the Statue of Liberty and a darkness coming from it to here. And I heard words calling an inquisition. I look to the others again, and then stop.
Is that it?
No. May I speak with you alone, Your Majesty?
Make me a roll that I will determine and have for you in just a moment when I figure out what it is. Make me a charisma persuasion. One success.
I will.
Would you like to re-roll one dice?
Yes. Hey.
10. And you say, can I speak to you in private?
I'm weak, but I can see things.
And
Can be useful.
she laughs. She laughs. Mirabelle laughs. The other two voices, one feminine, one masculine, all laugh. They find the very notion of that idea hilarious. And it feels like they're laughing at your expense. And the hand gives you the briefest of slaps and says, no, you are speaking to me now. We won't go anywhere. And you will never have a private audience with me unless I ordain it. Are we clear? Are we clear?
Yes.
Good. Now tell me more about what you were trying to say.
The word I heard was Inquisition. I think there's some here.
Second Inquisition is always reaching out, trying to find ways to get into our city. No doubt when I had to punish your two friends for breaching the Masquerade, alerted them. This is old news. We've been careful. We've been monitoring. You'll have to share information that is new and relevant to what I asked of you.
We had a job to deliver something, and it was no questions asked, but when I touched it, I could tell it was a dangerous weapon. So we delivered it.
A weapon? What sort of weapon?
I don't know. I just know we were asked to deliver it. And we
Where?
did. To the skull.
To the skull. And you get the sense that she pauses for a moment. Mr. Skull, Have you worked with these Anarchs before? Never, my lady. I wouldn't lie to you.
Sorry. I found that funny.
I was enjoying it. Do you have any other useless information for me? Very well. Mirabelle?
There.
Oh, sorry. What?
Still don't know who else is in the room. This is making it really hard.
It's almost like you're blind.
You have... You have enemies closer to you.
I'm the Prince of Vancouver. I have enemies without and within.
Alright, go for broke. You are not giving me any leeway.
Yeah, I mean, I am responding to the information you are giving her the way she would respond with the information that they have already known the entire time.
Sorry, I made the prince a bitch.
She thinks I'm just being mean to her, but it's just because she's a bitch.
It is both. It is
No,
both.
if it was Aldrich in this situation, it'd be very similar. Except, he's very good at lying.
Like, we will remind you, Prince of Vancouver, Sienna, is a bitch.
Yeah. One of your own plans to take your place.
Oh, she is going for broke. She smiles. Not that you can see it. But she leans in. And she kisses your cheek and whispers into your ear. Say the name softly.
I will whisper. What did I call her? I will whisper. The scepter draws her sword, and there's more behind her.
Very well. She takes out her phone, dials a number. I'm so disappointed in my newest acquisition. Ah, crap, I forgot her name. Now it's going to make this less dramatic. Oh, right. Give the order. Have Navina brought to me. And she hangs up the phone.
That's not her.
Well, you said a scepter was plotting against me. It wasn't very specific, and I had to assume that the schemers were so close.
Closer.
I grow tired of this one, Mirabelle. Your Malkavian word games bore me.
I gesture for her to come closer so I could whisper again.
She gives a long, tired exhale sigh. You have won opportunity before my kindness turns to ire, and she'll lean in. No more games, Malkavian.
And I whisper, Marissa Conti.
And she stands up. Find the venture permission. Bring her to me. Mirabelle, your childer will stay here for the time being until we can verify her information. We will have Navina brought and the Primogen brought. All three will be submitted for questioning. Mirabelle starts to protest, but there is a look from Sienna that has her stop, and she bows and says, of course, my prince. Anything you say. She says, good. You may leave. She will stay. And you hear mumbling under her breath, and she seems distraught of being already separated from her childer. But Mirabelle is escorted out by the sounds of a second set of footprints and the distant chime of the elevator. But it leaves Sybil deep within the ivory tower, with the prince, Mr. Skull, and one other individual. We cut the camera to the temporary haven. Aldrich has woken up. Daniel has given him his evening briefing. Where's Josie? Did she stay here or return to her apartment?
Stayed here.
When you arrived the night before, there was a package waiting at the front door. Inside was another picture of Carmen. They had a picture of her being given a hamburger, and then another picture of her being given water. And on the back of them, it was time-stamped, showing that it happened an hour before you all had your meeting, indicating at least before the meeting she was still alive. Or sorry, an hour after. So you guys had driven around for a while, and then there was a picture showing that she was fed after your meeting. So for now, it's safe to assume that she's still alive. What did the two of you do now that you've found yourselves down 2 coterie members?
Alright, so what's the plan? Plan man.
Throw yourselves at the mercy of the Camerilla.
Considering it.
Josie
Like,
would
genuinely.
die.
I mean, Josie can die if that's what she wants. But,
Yeah.
you know, Aldrich could have a decent life here. He gets things done.
You know, when I said Aldrich serves only himself,
He's...
it was
Listen.
not a lie.
It wasn't. That's why she didn't question it. She was like, no, I met him. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, he's a ministry member. He's a snake.
Yeah. She's like, no, that's all true. Yeah.
I think there's more I'm going to tell her once I find my tongue.
She's just gonna sing like a canary, like the little bird she is.
I'm going to have to if I need to give them a chance.
I don't know if we have a chance. That's why I'm actually considering,
Well,
like,
So
Glitching,
let's
essentially.
do like a quick review of what your guys' plan had been. Um, you guys had planned to work with the Ventru Primogen to orchestrate blowing up this ritual
Hmm.
that now Mr. Skull has an idea that something is up because Sybil tried to throw him under the bus, and you have outed the Ventru Primogen, so her
But
support.
we don't know.
You don't know that, but their support is now gone.
Well, the whole idea was to turn them against each other, and there's a whole reason I said, "Can we talk alone?"
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like it was brought up elsewhere. It's like, yeah, this recently turned Anarch wants to speak to the highest authority alone. Yeah, there's a reason they said no. It's like it just doesn't work that way. So you guys don't necessarily know that Conti has been outed, but out of character, you guys do know that your plan is monkey wrench
Is in shambles.
because Sybil never conveyed the idea in character.
I was getting ready to.
Yeah, never shared the idea of sowing dissent from the inside.
Oh, no,
But-
I mentioned it to him in character.
Not that, not those details.
You went
Kinda.
very roundabout. You went
You-
very roundabout, Shay. I could barely understand what you meant. I got the idea of turning them against each other, but I didn't get specification.
And as far as
Well, I told you out of character, and then we talked about it in character.
Yes, out of character, but in character.
it did not come across that way, and the idea was working with Mirabelle to earn her trust. Anyways, so the two of you are there. Josie asks, "What's the idea, Plan Man?" But one hinge of your plan is now missing, and it's just the two of you. I will be honest, you guys can just cross sides at this point.
Oh, Josie won't.
I know.
100%.
I'm just saying it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, the two most intriguing options to Aldrich right now are switch sides, leave.
Well, why don't we discuss that in
Because-
character? See where it leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to be honest here, Josie. We're pretty much dead in the water.
Yeah, I sort of got those vibes. We got the Camerilla, we got Camerilla, whatever it's called. I don't know. Seconding position. 2 people. A girl gang.
Werewolves.
Yeah, apparently now we have those.
Nah, they just like the clubs.
Yeah, but they're in the city, which is the issue.
You very openly said they were
Party wolves.
they were growling and not happy.
They were not happy because a vampire interrupted their dance party.
Honestly, there's not many options we have left.
I mean, there's options I have left, and there's options you have left. Just in terms of this plan.
There's nothing. I believe the plan
Not right now, at least. Well, we could always... If we... I mean, no matter what, I'm gonna end up coming back. So if you wanted to continue your, I guess, you wanted to continue your business here, we could always first go back to Seattle, explain the situation, get some more help, that kind of thing. Or we could just go separate ways for now. You can do yours. I'll do mine.
You're planning to throw in with the Valkyries, I'm guessing?
Maybe. I haven't decided. I have to see if our goals align first. But no matter what, I'm gonna regroup with everyone back in Seattle. Don't know if it's gonna be right now. It's gonna be in a bit. I'm gonna call them first. First, need to figure out all this shit with Second Inquisition, so we at least need to write that out.
Well, there's not much I can do with that.
So what is Aldrich's decision?
Yep.
Do you have the whatever her name is, the Ventru, whatever? Do you have her information? See if there's updates on that.
I can't remember. Did she give us like a way to contact her, or did she just say, "I'll contact you"?
I'm gonna say she said she would contact you. That way you don't accidentally incriminate yourself even further now by being like, hey, are we still going on with the plan? I do believe she said she would be in contact when they were ready to start moving.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any way to get in touch with her. Yes, I...
Do what?
I don't think there's any more I can actually do in Vancouver.
So you're gonna fucking, like, tap out?
I feel like that's actually Josie talking.
Yeah, no.
No, that is...
She said, so you're gonna fucking, like, tap out or something? Like, is that your plan?
Yes.
Gonna run away? Or should I say slither away?
Dang.
I'm not here to die. That may be your goal. No matter what you say.
My goal?
Josie, from day one, you've been fucking up.
My order was cancelled!
Ooh.
Oh no. I thought that was genuine Josie rage too.
This is genuine Casey rage! What?
Feed the Josie rage.
Your timing was perfect because of what he said.
It was.
What do you mean I failed since day one?
Daniel standing at the doorway just takes a drag of his cigarette and he's like, to be fair, she had help.
She did. But Raksha's dead. Can't exactly
really
go around blaming
fault.
him.
I got out of that shit.
She did learn her lesson.
Have I done it since then? No.
Either way, Josie, I believe this is the end of our working relationship.
Yeah. Makes sense, I guess.
All right. Well,
I wish you luck.
I can work with that. So, Aldrich and Daniel, you guys pack up with the intent of heading back to Vancouver. Josie will stay on in the city, needing to track down her lost friend and Touchstone.
And I'm also... Sorry.
Oh, no. I was just going to imply that Josie will just become an NPC that will be up for Arc to take over to use. And?
I do also
I had a whole get out of Dodge plan.
Did you?
I did.
What's the Dodge plan?
So, Daniel and Aldrich drive outside of the city with their bug out bag, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And while doing that, Aldrich takes out a straight razor, and he's going to shave his top knot
Okay.
and into the bag. And he changes his clothes to very unlike Aldrich. It's just a long sleeve shirt and jeans and like sneakers.
Jesus, that is a bug out bag.
I know.
And he also has a change of clothes for Daniel.
Mm.
Then when we're out of the city, we burn the bag before going anywhere else.
He knows that Top Dog's gonna grow back tomorrow, right?
Yes, but if we get stopped,
Yeah. No, it's fine. Okay. So
and it's not that much hair to shave.
it's true. So the two of them leave the city. Josie, you stay on, probably reach out to the Valkyries, and they're more than happy to take you on with the biker gang. They probably get you like a leather jacket that has like pink diamond sequins in it, and your own bike and stuff. So if Sage wants to use the Valkyries, that's there.
Oh, I will.
But whenever we decide to get back to this, because I know you said you wanted some time to prepare. I didn't expect it to be this soon,
like,
but I was
I'll
ready
need,
for an ending.
Yeah, I'll need like a list of the factions you introduced.
Well, here's the thing. None of them did any real moving and shaking, but I will get that to you. So that leaves Sybil, who has been reintroduced into the Camerilla. She never hears back from Aldrich, and Josie has no way to reach her because she doesn't have a phone.
I probably like continue with my plan under the impression that I'm in a much more dangerous position than I anticipated.
You go deep cover.
Yeah. And I do tell them, I give the prince, the recommendation, my hair is all tangled, the recommendation that, Conti has too many allies, and, it would be easier, or it would be easier to get them all if she waited until the ritual, whenever that was.
Oh, well.
If there is...
Make me one final roll then, please.
Okay.
It will be a charisma persuasion roll. I want to see if she buys into her newly unanarched stool pigeon. Birdie. Oh, you froze again, too, on the camera.
I did.
Yeah, you're like mid-hair adjust. You have one dice you can re-roll.
Why not?
Okay.
What do you call it?
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my god!
I think
How
there's
much willpower
something
you got?
wrong.
What?
There's something wrong. I don't
Hang
believe
on.
this.
Do it one more time. That's so strange.
Hang on.
Here's the
Hey.
two.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not
okay.
bugged.
All right.
But yeah, so you spent 3 there. The next one would have been a 2. But she basically says noted, and to your knowledge, she doesn't take that advice. The information for anyone who stays in Vancouver that keeps their ear to the ground, the Ventru Primogen, there is a blood hunt declared on Marisha Conti for basically trying to unsuccessfully usurp the prince. And so, hey, Ark, that could be a thing for the Marischal to do when they get back. Take out another...
But is Navina out of suspicion, though? Who knows?
That's someone else's character.
Yeah,
It is true.
I wasn't going to kill her. I just used her because she didn't give me a name when she asked for it. It was like, oh, well, I do know this one scheming Ventru who actually has a plan to become the prince.
Okay, answer me this.
Mhm.
Answer me this. What Ventrue isn't scheming?
Exactly. But she was just like, well, the only two that I know is this one, and I have a personal investment in this one, so I'm going to choose her first. But yeah, so basically that was just going to be an excuse to get the Marischal back into town.
Yes, I know. But there's going to be, like, suspicion when they get back.
There could be much suspicion. But like I said, with Sybil giving more information to indict Marisha Conti, she's basically going to say, like, whether you want to say that she's been brought in for questioning and found guilty or a blood hunt is fine. I will tell you guys the ideas I had for several different outcomes. If you guys had gone with your original plan of setting up to basically blow up the meeting based on who you had worked with, different people would have been there to help you all or have their own outcomes. If the ritual was able to go off, basically the Hakata were working with the Camerilla. Mr. Skull wasn't lying. They were going to basically feed the Methuselah that was in the box that you delivered. It was a Lasombra Methuselah. They were going to feed the Thin Bloods to it because they seem to think that the Thin Bloods have some special power that can be unlocked if the Methuselah ate them. And so they were going to supercharge this Methuselah and then immediately stake it before it, got really strong and could be unstoppable. And then they were going to let the prince Diablerize it. So
she's still in the frozen position.
See, that comes off like really, really weird to me, because why would the Anarchs send them the Methuselah?
Never said the Anarchs had you send the...
That was our job.
Yeah.
That is what Shalonge, Big B, and the third one that I forget the name of said.
That is what the nightmare was.
You are frozen. You didn't fix your camera.
Does it matter at this point? Turn off?
I mean, kind of.
Turn on.
So the reason behind that, because yes, you're right, they did send it, is because Methuselahs are really dangerous, and basically when you wake up Methuselahs, they eat everything within the immediate vicinity.
Yeah.
They basically expected you guys to open the box pretty much as soon as you got there, because there was the temptation of opening up the box. And it wasn't going to necessarily eat you guys, but you were going to see that there was, this child in torpor and be like, oh shit, that's just a kid. We can't give this kid over. Or, if you did and, you knew that it was there and you still delivered it, it was going to wake up during Elysium, because they basically had you deliver a bomb to Elysium. Mm-hmm. You just didn't wake it up. So instead, you, without question, handed it over to Mr. Skull. And he was like, oh, what's in this box? Oh, it's a Methuselah. I can use this. And so you basically handed over the bomb to the bad people instead of letting it get used the way it was supposed to be.
See, but they said to deliver it to that building.
They did. It's just that there was somebody waiting there that you didn't question. Like, you guys were just like, hey, we're here to drop this off. And he's like, cool. And you're like, cool. Bye.
Adios.
Yeah. There was just no
See, that's on the Anarch Barons. They should have told us more.
Yes, you could have asked more, but...
We did. They said, no, don't ask questions.
Yeah. You're trying to put this on us when it's on them.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a distinct lack of questions going that first episode. Anyways. So, that was that. If the original plan, before you all lost Ajay, if he had the Order of Hermes actually do their thing, they would have shown up to basically mess everything up for the ritual. They would have been there to interrupt the Tremere and the Hakata from doing what they needed to, and it would have cause the destruction of the Methuselah, and they would have been like, okay, we got all the heavy lifting done, we out. And then, you guys would have been able to do what you needed. There would have been an opportunity for Josie to attack Sienna, whether that succeeded or not. The Second Inquisition was just here to be a monkey wrench. They were going to show up and cause problems, one way or the other. I was talking with Shay about it on break, where it was like, wow, I'm really surprised nobody threw any punches, because they were just here to be, a physical obstacle. And so when, I saw that it wasn't going to be a confrontation, it was like, oh, well, give us the information, and if you tell us about the thing that you alluded to, we'll give her back eventually. So they were just going to milk you for information until you stopped being useful, because you basically said you weren't working for the Camerilla, so they could just use you as unpaid interns for the time being.
Yeah.
I had notes on something for if you guys ended up working with Mr. Skull, but Aldrich never pursued that. Where it was you could have...
He's always been... I did what he wanted, and he never contacted me. I don't have a way to contact him.
He's reached out to you a few times, but you always felt distant and largely uninterested outside of doing just the base work. But it's fine, because there was a lot of mess to this campaign that's not tied to the three of you, that we don't need to go into, because... a lot of the plans that you guys did set in motion basically fell under immediately the next episode. So there was a lot of scrambling and a lot of loose ends that needed to be sloppily strung together, which is probably why the information of the first episode also doesn't make much sense to you guys in the long run.
Just doesn't make sense, period.
Doesn't make sense in the long run, because there was a lot of sloppily strung together loose ends, because, when it's revealed that you're Anarchs, early
Third
on.
episode.
Yeah, it kind of messes everything up for you, and all of the stuff in the works. So it could have been better. We probably could have done a new game and just kept going and just disregarded this whole season, but it was also curious to see writing it out to its natural finish, because this is basically where we could have ended it without people dying.
Because at this point the plan was basically suicide.
And I think that was a problem too, was the infiltration uprising intent kind of got lost in character creation too. The coterie itself wasn't really cohesive for that plan, and we could have done something different with this same coterie and had a better story. I think the hang-up was on the uprising aspect, not necessarily on the coterie's design.
Yeah, I think this coterie would have been great in like a normal city.
Yep. And in a city where you weren't just, like I said, where you just not, your whole goal is to overthrow the Camerilla. I think it was too much to tackle for this kind of coterie.
We had a lot of stuff thrown at us too.
No, you had opportunities that opened up to you that people took, and then immediately the opportunities dried up and fell apart. So every time something was thrown at you and somebody was like, ooh, that looks interesting, and then it fell apart, I would find something else and be like, well, what about this? Hey, that looks neat. Now we've sabotaged it. Okay, how about this thing? Because gotta keep feeding the plot, because every other plot avenue you guys would set on fire. So it seemed like there was a lot going on, but there really wasn't, because the avenues were getting exhausted just as quickly as they were being put up. And there was this weird perception of, well, we're the PCs, so we should just be able to do things because of us. But I don't think it quite sunk in that you guys are outsiders of an enemy faction, so the way you navigated and handled things doesn't really work. Whereas you're in the city that you're allowed to be, and in the faction that is in power, the dynamic shifts a little more. The approach wasn't quite keen on infiltration. But lessons learned. Anyways, we'll wrap up here. But yeah, they really didn't need more social power, Ruby. They had a fully dedicated social character. It was just they also had a character that tripped up a lot of the work the whole coterie was laying down every episode. So it was just, it didn't quite work for them through no fault of their own. But that's this. We'll wrap up here, and we'll be back in a couple weeks with a new season.